I love where this baseball team is at. I absolutely love where the Cleveland Guardians are at. How could you not? On pace for 108 wins. You won another series. I was at the ballpark Saturday. It was electric. Jose Ramirez. I love it all, man. I do. I saw the City Connect jerseys in the team shop. Boy, I had to walk past that with a 3-year-old. Come on, son. Come on. Let's go get some ice cream. Come on, over this way. But it doesn't mean I don't want more. I'm happy with where we're at. I love where we're at. But it doesn't mean I'm okay with where we're at. Can you name all 7 of the deadly sins, Ryan? Is greed not one of them?
Oh, gosh.
Gluttony?
Greed, lust, gluttony. Might be it.
You know the SpongeBob theory on that?
Wrath, anger. I mean, isn't that one?
I think stupidity or
Malice, something like that.
Because all the characters in SpongeBob report, like, allegedly, in the Illuminati world, all the characters on SpongeBob all represent one of the 7 deadly sins.
I've seen that theory. It's lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride.
Yeah. Mr. Krabs loves greed.
Gotta be greed. I mean,
Sandy is...
I mean, what's envy? Squidward?
Yeah, Squidward. Or Plankton. Plankton is envy because he wants Mr. Krabs stuff. Not to do, you know, how's Oscar Gonzalez doing? You mentioned SpongeBob baseball. I was like, what's he up to now? I hope he's doing well. I do. But with this team, I'm going to get a little greed. I'm going to get a little gluttony here. I've got a little envy here with all of it when it comes to the Guardians. I love where they're at. It doesn't mean that I don't want a little bit more for this team. I'll explain what I mean. We'll run through some names. We'll get into some Cavs this morning. Some interesting things coming out around the NBA circles. You got teams that are going to be all aggressive. That's good for the Cavs. Finals. Are we gearing up for what could be one of the lowest viewed finals in quite some time? I'll explain that. We'll get to the bracket this week. It's back. I had a couple short weeks, so we'll get back to the bracket. We got time up. We got the grid. We got the morning update. We got it all for you, kicking off the week right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. Happy to have you along here at Matt Fontana Show. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Search it all. Actually, side note, I had shout out to Coach Joe. He was one of my baseball. Okay, seriously, he was a dad of a girl I went to school with, but he also coached a lot of baseball. And he goes, "Hey, I ran into somebody that used to work the," and I was like, he said, "Where are you at now?" I'm like, "Come on over to YouTube. We're over here on Big Play." I said, I'm not that guy, Ryan, but I just go, just search my name, and it should pop up on YouTube for a lot of people. But we're over there on Twitter as well, so appreciate the follows. Appreciate you joining us here this morning. Game was awesome on Saturday, man. Game was electric. Kids Clubhouse, not so much. So we took our 2 kids to the game. Dude, they made it to the 7th inning. We stayed till the 7th inning. I was really impressed. But innings 2 through 5 were spent at the Kids Clubhouse. It was packed with kids. I thought we were the only parents in Cleveland to go, oh, 4:10 start on Saturday. That really works well for the kids. It was so great to see. I love that ballpark when it's full. Everybody had their Quan jerseys on, which was awesome. I saw the new pennant club, the Paul Davis Pennant Club, whatever's up in right field there. I will tell you that the construction is a little hampering. Some of the concourses are just cut down, so they're doing the construction, but it was great to be there for the game. And Jose, I'm going to say basically stealing home, scoring from second base a la Kenny Lofton on the pass ball. You won the series. Listen, yesterday is going to be a big crux of what we're going to talk about today. You didn't finish the series on out. That's fine. That's fine. You win series, and you are going to be in the playoffs. That is what the Guardians have continued to do. Win your series, all I ask, and we're doing just fine. But okay, Carlos Carrasco didn't have it for you again. He came off the IL. Not a horrible start by any stretch of the imagination, but it just furthers the thought that I have. You got to go get a starting pitcher. Now, everybody's going to jump on, well, getting Gavin Williams back, and if he can pitch like he did as a rookie, that's like making a trade. I want another one. Gavin Williams is great. I'm happy he's back. I need yet another one. And I love Carlos Carrasco, and I hope they put him in the bullpen. I do. I don't want to see him go. He brings some good mo to this team. I don't want Cookie's job gone. I'm a Xavier Curry fan. I like him. you need 2 more starters. You need 2 more starters on this team. And you'll get Gavin Williams back, which I'm also not ready just to rubber stamp this and be like, oh, just do what you did last year. It's never that easy. And especially for a guy that only has 1 season under his belt, I don't even want to just put that pressure on Gavin Williams. But I need to see another starter come in here. And baseball's a little bit different than like football, right? I could run through trade targets for the Browns and be like, oh yeah, I know who that guy is. I've got some names, and it's a team that you've done business with before. We'll get to that. But, Ryan, I want to post a Twitter question this morning at Matt Fontana Show, and I'll leave it up to you. The question is, do you want to go get another starter in addition to Gavin Williams? I don't even want to tell you the question I thought about posing this morning. Would you trade Kyle Manzardo for Aaron Savali the other way? And now, I'm not saying Aaron Savali right now. I don't even know what Aaron Savali. He's not doing well. I know, but you get what I'm saying.
He got cut from my fantasy team a while ago.
That's what I'm saying. It's just that level of guy. If you and Manzardo, I'm not trying to kick him out the door here, but to make this trade, I know they sent Rodriguez back down, and I can't pronounce that guy's last name. Sheer, whatever. Good for him, man. That's awesome. 27, finally making his debut. Good for him, man. He roped that double too. You are gonna have to trade something to get a mid-level starter. I'm not going to get Justin Verlander. I'm not out there to go get a top level, and I know Verlander's not, but just like, you're not going to get that Cole Ragans guy from the Royals, okay? I'm talking about a third starter. Because you and I asked this question last week, Ron, about if you had a playoff game tomorrow, who's starting it? Now, that has become apparent. That will be Tanner Bybee. Tanner Bybee gets that start. And even watching Ben Lively deal on Saturday, all right, he gets game 2. Who are you starting in game 3? Is it Tristan McKenzie? Is it Logan? But that's the type of level that I'm talking about here. Is just a third starter on your team. I need to bolster that. And if you told me that I'm going to run out there, and maybe at that point, I'm asking for Logan Allen to not be in the rotation anymore. Because at this point, Lively, McKenzie, and Bybee are locks. They're not coming out. And I know McKenzie's been up and down, home runs and walks. He's got to get those under control. Gavin Williams comes back. I assume, well, at this point, you would have to make the move with Carrasco because he was on the IL. That's why Xavier Curry was here. And then would you upgrade at Logan Allen? Would you put somebody else in that spot? And I say yes. When you got to look at this, you got to go get it. So the question is up at Matt Fontana's show. Do you need them to go get another starter? I've been saying that last week. I'm going to continue to pound this drum until Chernoff and Antonetti go get somebody.
Yeah,
I need it tomorrow.
I agree with you.
And the other thing is, I don't need to wait until the deadline. What I'm going to get to is a report from Bob Nightingale that came out yesterday. The Mets are selling, man. They're done. They're cooked. Can we take it back? No, I'm just kidding. Can I complete side note? Some of the things that I think Francisco Lindor said after that series in New York, or, when the Mets were here, I think he misses it here, man.
Of course he does.
How could he not?
He said he misses winning. That's the biggest testament.
Yeah. And even some of the things he said after that. The Mets are a crap show. They got that guy throwing his glove. They're not in a good spot. So they're offloading, right? Bob Nightingale came out. Pete Alonso, gone, right? I don't want JD Martinez. I definitely don't want Ottavino. Remember, he's the one that choked up that game for them. But Luis Severino, Manea, Quintana, who's been pitching horribly, but still, they're going to have available guys. I'll run through some of those other ones as just an interest, but I'm going to be greedy about this. You have this opportunity. You have this opening. And I understand that it's easy to just say, well, you're getting Gavin Williams back. And I like Gavin Williams. That's not enough for me. I want another one. And especially when you look at this team and see some of the production you've been able to get from the outfield. Quan is back, thank God, great. You don't need anything else. I don't need another bullpen arm. That's fine. You got the best bullpen in baseball. Your lineup is solid. And I'll say this too. In baseball, it is rare that every contending team doesn't just do something at the trade deadline. That baseball trade deadline, it's not like the NBA. The NBA is a lot of fun because you have teams that make a push, but a lot of times that's offloading players or picking up expiring contracts. Football, very rarely is anything. Baseball is usually, more often than not, contending teams do something to bolster their team for the end run and getting to go for the playoffs. The Guardians are one of them. I will tell you this, and I sit here today, Ryan, believing this. I'd put a bet on Tipico for a lot of money. They're going to do something. They'll make some move. That's just what you do as a contending team. Now, the level of what impact that is remains to be seen. I expect them to do something, and I expect it to be a starting pitcher. Here's my thing. Do it now. Do it now. You got a massive series coming down the barrel against the Royals. I'm not here training somebody to start on Wednesday, but I'm just saying, you got games. These games count. I always joke, it's not like you get a half a win because you beat up on some bad team. It's not like it's a half a win because it's in May. These wins all count. If you believe, which I know, again, we're on this insane pace. I'd love for the Guardians to win 100 games. That'd be fantastic. If you believe that 92 wins, which should be plenty to win this division, every win is that much closer. I know a lot of traction is getting picked up for, there's a Twitter account that is nothing but every single day it's the Guardians' magic number. And it's in the hundreds, right? I get that. But still, every game counts. Every game is a win. Go make that move now. And especially if the value and the price is going to go up is closer that you get to the deadline. Ryan, I'd be asking, you got an off day today. You don't got anything going on. Get some of these teams on the horn. Go do something now. Do it now.
If you would have asked me this 2 months ago, it would have been between starting pitching for the Guardians' biggest need at this deadline, or a lot of people would have said another outfield bat. But I think that's in the last month or two especially, you've seen Tyler Freeman step up. You brought up Manzardo. He's been looking like he's
fine.
playing well. Will Brennan's been fine. And you get Quan back. So now to me, it's been completely obvious that the biggest need is starting pitching. And it's nice to get Gavin Williams back, but you go back to the beginning of the year, and if I was to ask you, Matt, the top three pitchers in order on the Guardians, it would have no doubt, I think, for the majority of people, been one, Shane Bieber, and then two, probably Tanner Bybee after what he did in his rookie season.
And he stepped up.
And Gavin Williams can be great, but I'm not going to expect this 24-year-old to come up here and be this pseudo ace that we're missing. I don't think you can expect that out of him. Now, will he be better than your Xavier Curry starts, your Carrasco starts? I would certainly hope so, and I expect so. But you got to go get another starting pitcher, because when you get to these late months, you get to September, October, when you're playing baseball in the playoffs, you need guys that are just going to punch it through.
Well, and that's the thing. You can't find rotations in baseball that 1 through 5 are just like murderer's row, right? Like if you have 3 above average starters, you're doing pretty well. I don't know if the Guardians have. I think they have 2. I think they have Lively and Bybee. And
I'm not sure how much you can continue Lively to do what he's doing.
Right. I mean, I'm with you. It's like the same thing with David Fry. Everybody, it'll fall off eventually. And you got to just ride this while you can, right? I don't want to say it. Somebody else is going to get hurt. Ah, God bless it. You know it. You know it, and I know it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Like, that's not my fault. Do not put that on me. By the way, to Dave and Nick, I love you guys. I would have told you to take Makachev. I would have told you to take Makachev on Saturday. So, a complete side note, just because it came up. So, they do big play, big bets on Friday, right? And Ryan produces that show. And you asked me, you said, there was a Paulo Costa stat. And I sent it to you. That the last 8 times that Paulo Costa has fought on an undercard, the champion has lost that night. So I sent that to you. And by the way, he lost to Sean Strickland. I would have told you that. I went 4-1 on the main card, by the way. So I would have told you that. Horrible refereeing, by the way. Judging, by the way. Like malpractice. Like I thought that guy was in the bag. I thought that guy was getting paid off. But anyway. So I sent that to you. So then I get the clip from Dave who put good money on Dustin Poirier to win. And I was like, no. I was like, don't do that. No.
History would tell you.
That's what I said. But I would have told you he was not beating Makachev. Great fight. But I just want to get that out. Send that clip to the Big Bets guys. I would have told when there's UFC fights, tell them I will come on the show. I will come on the show to do UFC with them. There's big news in the UFC today, by the way. They canceled. So, like the McGregor-Michael Chandler fight, they had a press conference there and then canceled it. That's not good. It was in Dublin for Conor McGregor with people. The tickets were free, but you still had to get tickets to go, and they canceled that. That's not good. That's not good. But UFC aside. So just send that to Big. I would have told you guys to take Makhachev. That was free money. That was free absolute money.
Well, he was a heavy favorite.
He was a huge favorite. Huge favorite. But I digress. Getting back to the guards, you got to go make this move. You have to go make this move. With right now, with where you're at, and here's the thing. People want to, and I'm not saying you can't, hold out hope that Tristan McKenzie can finally put it back together and become, because if you get the best version of Tristan McKenzie, here's an ideal world. You want to make an ideal world where the Guardians don't make a trade? It's Gavin Williams comes back and is what he was last year, completely plausible. You get Tristan McKenzie back to the level of Tristan McKenzie that you know he can be. He's not right at the moment. I don't know what it is. Whether it is that elbow, which we just all seem to forget that this season started with him potentially having elbow problems. He seems to nibble when he gets to 2 strikes. And how many counts do you have that it's 0-2, 1-2, and all of a sudden it's a full count before you know it? He's given up the home runs. If you can just somehow fix that. And by the way, would you not have the most amount of faith that this pitching coaching staff would be able to figure that out?
Yeah.
So you could say, no need to hit the alarms here. Lively and Bybee, do what you're doing. We'll get McKenzie back to form, and we'll go ahead and get Gavin Williams back, and then you're back to whatever, Logan Allen, Carlos Correa. I still want more. And especially when you have started to bring up some of these prospects, Ryan, they're not doing that just for blanks and giggles, man. They're doing this because they want to get some at-bats for them. They also want to see if we did make a move, who we could have come up and kind of fill in. And I know they gave that, is Shearman, whatever his name was? Schneeman. God. And by the way, tugging at the heartstrings, man, living out the dream for all of us. Congratulations to him. They go, Hammy on the call. He goes, his mom, his dad, his wife, and his baby daughter were there. Like, how freaking cool is that? Good for him, man. You want to bring some of these guys up. Again, do you always want to get looks and you've got opportunities to do it and votes that, we're facing this type of pitching. We don't need Rodriguez right now. You're just trying to churn in those wheels. You're just kind of churning those wheels just a little bit to see what's going on. So our Twitter question is up, at Matt Fontana Show. You want to see the Guardians go get a starting pitcher before the trade deadline. Ryan, this is out to a 98-2. 98-2 early in the results.
It's a pretty glaring need, I would say.
Dave said he wants another bat for the lineup, too. Okay. Mike says they just need another solid starter that can give you 6 innings. I mean, that's the other problem. You're not getting very much length out of your starters, too. I want the quality starts, 5 innings, less 2 runs or less. That's fine. But I just need some length out of this damn thing, too. That's it. Mike tweets, Saturday's crowd was crazy. Jose's play was awesome. And what did I say going into the game, too? You got to grab some of these people to come. My wife and I had a fantastic time with our kids. That kid's clubhouse, I don't know if we'll go back. Let's tell you a quick story on that. So we get to the second inning. Our son is about to be 3. Our daughter's pretty much 1. And listen, we were there for them, right? It was all about them. And I loved it because she was sitting there clapping, and my son, he looks for any opportunity to clap. So here's your opportunity. Here you go, man. We're clapping left and right. And all he kept doing, this is going to get me. All he kept doing was pointing the field, go, Dad, I want to go play. Dad, I want to go play. And he sees the grass, and he sees them out there. I go, no, buddy, we got to watch them play. And all he kept doing was, Dad, I want to go play. I want to go play. I'm like, I would love to take you out there. I'd be in the jail. I'd be in the hokey. Just
the
running
clink,
out there with my
clink.
kid.
What is it, the clank?
The clink, yeah.
Or the clink. No, the clink.
Running out there with my son. He goes up and hugs Jose or something like that. I'd go to jail for that. Can they take a 3-year-old to jail? I don't know. So we had a great time. So the second inning hits, and my wife goes, all right, we got to get up and move because they're going to, they're kids. So we make the trek from third base all the way around to that kid's clubhouse, which is in right field on the third deck. Bro, it was a half-hour line to get into the clubhouse. That was all worth it. My son went down the slide. We got the certificate for my daughter for her first game. And then we came back to our seats. I did miss Jose's play, though. We're standing in line, and you hear that eruption from the fans. I go, what happened? I turned to the TV. I was like, oh, my God. So then we get back to our seats. We only made it like another inning, got in the car, and went home. But it was fantastic, and it was alive, man. That ballpark was alive. It was so great to see. But now you get that ROI. You hope to get some of these people back. Like, we got done with that game. We go, when's the next one? When are we getting to go here? It was a lot of fun. So shout out to the Guardians. I know they're doing the best they can with that construction that's going on, but ballpark was feeling it, man. It was great. Dogs were fantastic. That was the first time, Ryan, no joke. I'm about to be 35 years old. In the 14 years that I've been going to the ballpark, that was the first time I went there and did not have a beer. I feel like I missed out. Like an ice cold, I talked about this with my father-in-law. beer in a fridge is cold. There's nothing like a beer that's been on ice. You know what I mean? Like in the tub or in a cooler.
When the Coors Mountains
oh
blow.
my God. Woo! Give me a garage beer on ice, baby. But it was a great game on Saturday. All right, a couple of things I want to dive into. We'll talk Bo Naylor in a second, but let's talk about this Mets situation. So we're discussing about how I want the.
We got to talk about this.
Oh my God, what happened?
Justin Jefferson is now the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL.
I want to guess.
He got his deal done.
I want to guess per year.
I will tell you this, it is a 4-year deal.
Did he get 30 a year? 28 million. 28 million a year.
Sorry, let me do the math.
Do the math, sorry. I'm not looking. I don't want to look. I'm going to say $28.5 million per year.
More.
31.
More.
Whoa! 33?
More.
No.
35
Holy
a year. It's a 4-year.
cow.
It's a 4-year, $140 million contract. Includes $110 million guaranteed. It makes him not only the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history, but the highest paid non-quarterback. His deal includes $88.7 million due at signing.
Good for J.J. McCarthy.
You know who's looking at that number? Jamar
Chase. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's the tweet here. Mike Brown and the Bengals seeing this number. Hang on. I'm going to send a funny tweet. There it is. That's a lot of money for a guy that is dependent on a quarterback. I mean, again, I'm not knocking Justin Jefferson. I love Justin Jefferson. He's really, really good. How does that look for Jerry Jeudy? How does that look for Amari Coopers? And they're not to the level of Justin Jefferson, but that is a lot of money. That is a lot of money for Justin Jefferson. So that comes down, man, $35 million.
That's nuts.
That is nuts. Teach your kids to be a receiver. Man. And again, he's an absolute animal. Justin Jefferson's average, at this point of his career, 98.3 yards per game is the most in NFL history during any career span, and 6.5 catches per game is the second highest of any receiver in their first 4 seasons of the year of their career. It's a lot of money, man. And it's just like, am I wrong for the first thing to say? You still have J.J. McCarthy. It's not Kirk Cousins, man. And maybe I am crapping on J.J. McCarthy a little bit. Do not ever tell me, by the way, that there was not a little added money to that with the Vikings sitting down with him and him coming back and go, I got to play with that guy for a couple years. You better make it worth it here.
That's very true.
And again, for him, how smart that it is just 5 or 4 years. I'm a little shocked not just 3. Get paid. Now, again, you got $35 million, 110 guaranteed. I'll take 4 years. That's fine. But he can do this again. And I guess like anything, if he continues to like play well, but it's not the NBA. It's not like he could go to the Vikings in year 2 and go, get me the hell out of here. I don't want to play here anymore. And he can make a stink out of it, but you got to find a team to take that deal on. He ain't leaving Minnesota. You got to put a lot of J.J. McCarthy. And that offense is built.
And
I like Jordan Addison. You got Hawkinson.
Yeah. And I mean, if it works out, maybe alongside, and I'm not going to say he's going to be C.J. Stroud, but then you're not paying him for 4 more years.
No. I mean, and the salary cap's going to keep going up. They're going to add this 18th game. It's going to go through the roof. But and especially, would you ever think I mean, like, here's the another flip side of the coin. I'm just bringing this up just because, again, Justin Jefferson got paid. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. I'm not saying receiver's not important. But also the flip side is, look across the landscape, man. There are a lot of really good receivers. And there's only going to be more coming. You hear so much. Andrew Berry has spoken on that, about the position that everybody they're running NFL routes in high school. They're going to 7-on-7 elite camps. Receivers are going to keep coming. Now, you got one. But it's not a quarterback, man. It's not a quarterback. And it is so dependent on the quarterback. Oof. There's a little PR in that, too. Vikings are taking it. They're taking it. And, again, I don't think they wanted to let Justin Jefferson leave, but 35 a year?
That is absolutely nuts.
Imagine if they had an elite quarterback. 70-odd-some million tied up in 2 guys? That's almost half your salary. Well, not half, but damn near close. Makes it be thankful for the Browns, some of the moves that they make. I got receivers, by the way. We'll go. Pro Football Network did their top 10 wide receiver duos. Amari
I'm
Cooper and
excited
Jerry
for
Jeudy. We'll get to that coming up. All right, flip back to the guards real quick. After this, Justin Jefferson's 35. No, 110 guaranteed. Good for him. All right, Bob Nightingale had this yesterday. USA Today. The Mets are going to be sellers. They suck. And reporting that a handful of their prize players are expected to be dealt. He did not mention Lindor. It's Pete Alonso, who's going to be a free agent. JD Martinez, who's older than I am. Severino, Sean Manaea, Jose Quintana, and then some relievers, some infield guys, Harrison Bader. Just saying. Anyway, here are the guys that I have my eye on. The two starters would be Severino. He's 30, 3-2, 3.5 ERA, 1.1 whip, walks, hits per inning, 54 strikeouts in just 64 innings. And the write-up here on Bleacher Report, for teams looking to bolster a middle or back of their rotation playoff push, he'd make a lot of sense. And by the way, he is a free agent after this year. So that is like the Guardians special, right? When they would go after some guys, it would be they're off the hook after this season. I'd keep an eye out for him. Sean Manaea, he's 32, 3.6 ERA, 1.3 whip across 11 starts. Now, the thing is, he has a player option for next year at $13.5 million. If he pitches well, he might decline that, and then you don't have to worry about it. He can go sign somewhere else and see what you can do on that. I do not want Jose Quintana. He's 35. He's 1-5, and we smoked it. Well, I didn't think he smoked us, but you don't want Quintana. A creep can throw, man. You're good. So I would say between those two guys, and I don't know about anybody else, the thing is, you have open lines of communication with the Mets. You do. You've at least worked with them in the past on some stuff. Could you make a deal for one of those two guys? And I don't want people, like, we're getting in the weeds here, like how many people really thought about Luis Severino or any of that. But there's options out there. There's going to be options out there for the Guardians, and it's only going to it's only going to intensify as you get closer to the trade deadline. So those are some names. At least that. You know what you want if you're the Guardians? A lot of moves. You want a lot of action and a lot of teams that are willing to sell. That just helps you make the right decision. And the Guardians have aced trades. Yeah, I could look at a couple here that didn't really quite work out. For the most part, they're batting about 800. About 80% of their trades I feel like they make, they somehow work out. It's not going to quite be your Corey Kluber, Emmanuel Clases all the time, but they usually get something out of it. And you can't also, I want to say this to the people out there. When you see a guy and you're like, Severino, 3.5, like, Manaea, like 3, don't forget that they're coming here where maybe Carl Willis has got something for him, right? Maybe there's something that they can see. Like pitching for the Guardian, it's like being in a system. Right? You come here. Do you think it's just a coincidence that Ben Lively is having an amazing year? Nah, man. He came to the factory. He came to the place that just seems to either turn guys' career around or develop guys. Like, there's something to be said. Don't forget that, too. Don't get caught up in the numbers. There could be a guy that this organization could look at and say, you know what? We see something and we really like that guy. The money's going to work. Go make the trade. More moves, the better. This was interesting from ESPN. They did a post-hype check-in of evaluating some top former prospects. David Schoenfield, ESPN senior writer. And he went through guys. I think he had I don't want to say he had like a parameter, but it's like these guys have to be like 3 years or younger, 2 years or younger. Like for an example, last year, do you know a guy he did a check-in on and said, watch out for? Bobby Witt Jr. I would say that's worked out. So we went through some guys that are showing some success, right? Grayson Rodriguez for the Orioles and Nick Lodolo for the Reds and whatever. There was a Guardian on this list. That Guardian is Bo Naylor. And he is in the group of the jury remains out. So David Schofield did two lists. One, guys that are showing you something, and a list of jury is still out. I scare children easily. I don't wear deodorant. Did you ever see that SNL? No. Oh, my God, Ryan, you're killing me. Chris Farley. He was on the news. Brennan Bauer or something like that. And he was just this weird guy. And he would just do quotations all the time. But anyway, jury remains out on Bo Naylor. ESPN peak prospect ranking was number 91 in all of baseball last year. A comment then when he was a top prospect. Naylor has an excellent approach, Good, not great contact skills, and 55 grade raw power with some sneaky average speed. Split time between catcher and third base as an amateur, and has slowly improved behind the plate, where I think he'll be an average defender with an average arm within a year or two. I guess average. Okay. Here's where we're at now. He's batting 173, 250 slugging, 263 on base.
Not good.
3 home runs and 12 RBIs. The write-up. Naylor hit well in his 67-game stint last year, 237, 339, and 470, leading to a hope that he could develop into a catching version of his teammate and older brother, Josh. Instead, the bat has been non-existent. His strikeout-to-walk ratio went from a 1.7 to a 4. Hitting is hard. Naylor was like this in the minor leagues as well. When he was in Double-A Akron, he eventually improved his average and improved his high walk rate. When Naylor does make contact, he's fine. He's a 50 percentile hard hit rate. He just doesn't make contact enough. The good news is his defense has developed. He rates as an excellent pitch framer, learning from Hedges, a valuable skill, at least until the robot ops come along. That's the write-up here. Where you at with Bo Naylor? We've talked about him before. I mean,
I've been pretty out for a while.
I think I'm fine with this rotation of going, but Hedges is going to get some. I mean, Hedges just deserves more time. And there's the game on Saturday, right? Was the bases loaded when Hedges came up? And I think him and Rodriguez struck out. Or Rodriguez struck out. I think Hedges might have grounded out or something. But you live with Hedges because he is a lead at pitch framing. And you get a little bit defense, maybe calling a better game. Jury's still out on Bo Naylor. I think that's bad when that's the best that you can say is just that the jury is still out.
Yeah.
So
that doesn't sound very encouraging one bit.
I don't know.
I'm curious, though, who are the other people that are in that group?
I don't know if you know any of these guys. Sal Frelick, outfielder for the Brewers, but he's hitting 257. Brett Batty, third baseman for the Mets. Henry Davis, the catcher for the Pirates, and Jordan Walker of the Cardinals, outfielder.
Yeah, no.
I don't know about any of those guys. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying everybody's got to be your Gunnar Henderson, right? Now everybody's Bobby Witt. You're going to have, I'm not saying they missed it all on Bo Naylor. I'm not ready to get rid of Bo Naylor, but the bat's got to start coming around. There said, he's just not making contact enough. You just got to put the ball in play. That's how it's going to have to go. All right, flipping back to the NFL. Big news this morning from Justin Jefferson. He signs this deal. It's insane. And I go over to Pro Football Network. So they did their top 10 best wide receiver duos in the NFL. This has nothing to do with quarterback. This has nothing to do with wide receiver 3. This is the top 2 tandems in the NFL for the receivers. You've been pretty hot sometimes we do these lists.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of an immediate top 3, I think, that sticks in my head.
Okay.
And this is maybe no order.
Sure, that's fine. I'll give you an order.
But I got to imagine right around 1 to the 3 range, you're going to have Jamar and T.
3.
You're going to have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
2.
And you're going to have Debo and Ayuk.
4.
Okay.
He's number 1.
I don't think they'll be number 1, but I think they'll be top 10. Cooper and Puka.
No.
Okay.
No. Do you want to know something crazy? They're not top 10.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I mean,
a little early
Cooper's
on
been
Puka, which
hurt,
I get.
And Cooper Kupp's been hurt.
Your hints on number 1, one of these guys also got paid this offseason. Wait a minute. Both of these guys got paid this offseason.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a glaring one. Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay. Nico and Tank?
No, good guess, though. They were 5.
Stephon Diggs.
They were 5. Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs were 5. Good guess, though. That's a good pull there.
Yeah, I see. Let me just run through my head. I know there's got to be a glaring one. I'm just totally...
There is. It's okay. Let me make sure this guy signed this off. I know the one guy did, and this other guy did also sign. Both these guys just signed new deals this offseason.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, of course. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith.
Correct. Those guys are number 1. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith is 1. Tyreek and Jalen Waddle 2. Jamar and T 3. Ayuk and Debo 4. Diggs and Nico Collins 5.
DJ Moore,
6.
Keenan Allen.
DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. Number 7, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Number 8, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. Number 9, Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, Jets. And at number 10, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Seattle Seahawks. Do you feel like Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy should be on that list?
I would put them above.
Would you put them above Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams?
Yes, 100%.
Would you put them ahead Mike Evans, Chris Godwin?
See, I'm willing to not. I'm willing to not put them there.
I'm a big Mike Evans guy. Would you put him ahead Keenan Allen, DJ Moore?
Again, I'm willing not to. I'm okay with not doing
So then DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett would be the other one that you would probably knock off that list. Which, again, you mentioned Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. They also did not make this list. You know? So, and then I don't think the Ravens really deserve any. It was Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman. And then the Steelers just have George Pickens. That's it. Right? They traded away Deontay Johnson.
They've just got a bunch of scrubs.
Yeah.
They have like 6 scrubs.
You know, the other thing that makes me think about that, Buffalo, like they are the ultimate quantity over quality. We're just getting a lot of guys that are going to come in here. None of them are all that good. But I just wondered on if you thought that if you had to rank them, would you say then they'd be 12, like right on the outside looking in?
I mean, it's obviously a big indictment of Jerry Jeudy's just
you
being
just don't know what you're going to get
so far. And at this point in his career, for a first-round pick, he's been a bust. So.
Yeah, and that comes back to, again, like what you get with the quarterback. We go back to Justin Jefferson's contract. He surpassed Nick Bosa's 34 a year, which I'm sure when he sat down with them, I go, you better get me past that. That's all that this kind of is, right? You got to get me past this guy's number. I'm going to keep saying this too. Myles Garrett's going to need a new deal soon. Not this offseason. You got to eat some of this Watson deal, but there's another contract coming from Myles Garrett where he's going to have to surpass Nick Bosa and he's going to have to go past all these other guys. That's another story for another day. But that when they sit down, they go, yeah, that's a mark I want to have. That's a mark that I set for the rest of these receivers, for the rest of just, again, free agents, all that kind of stuff. That's the number that we want. But it's still just so so quarterback dependent, which is just crazy. If you had Justin Jefferson as a quarterback level, he's Patrick Mahomes. And he's due and worth every penny of $50 million a year. But he's a receiver. He'd run the most perfect route. He could torch some poor defensive back. He could torch Jair Alexander up there for the Packers. J.J. McCarthy just doesn't see him. J.J. McCarthy trips. He throws the ball away. I'm just like, you know, Nick Bosa is going to do what he does. Myles Garrett's going to do what he does. Wide receiver, man, it's just like.
But if you are
crazy.
the Vikings
no choice,
and you're in
right?
that moment, exactly, you don't have a choice. And if it works out, that's amazing because you're not.
Can
paying
you really
J.J.
sit down with
McCarthy
Justin Jefferson and go, "Hey,
years.
man, J.J. McCarthy's going to be it for the next 4"? I guess he doesn't have a choice
either. He was
either.
a top 6 pick, man, or whatever it was, top 10. I mean, he's supposed to be. That's what they drafted him for.
Better about C.J. Stroud, right? You feel better about some of these other guys. Maybe he's the next coming. I don't know. And I think there's an element of Jefferson that when you get that deal in front of you, don't turn that deal down. Like, it doesn't matter where you're at. You can go play for Carolina. And eventually, yeah, if it really goes bad, they could try to trade him away. But $35 million this year. $35 million. So many funny GIFs and memes coming out. That scene in Dumb and Dumber when they pull up in the Lambo. Justin Jefferson welcoming his teammates. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Just handing out cash. Better be getting that for J.J. McCarthy. We'll see. All right, flip over to a little bit of NBA this morning. Saw something out. Pelicans going to be aggressive this offseason. Good for the Cavs. Here it is. David Griffin, former Cavalier, a GM, has basically said they're going to. So this is from Christian Clark of NOLA.com. The Pelicans are expected to be aggressive in pursuing upgrades this offseason. This echoes the sentiment from top basketball executive David Griffin at his end-of-season media availability. Griffin said, I think the past we've always erred on the side of continuity. Our takeaway has been, let's see this group healthy. Now, I think we've seen enough. We need a really good opportunity to see Zion play in a career high in games. We saw segments of it last year well enough to understand we've got a lot of work to do. Jonas Valanciunas is going to be gone. Jose Alvarado, Trey Murphy, and then Brandon Ingram. Ingram is eligible for the max contract extension. He's reportedly unlikely to get one and has been on the trade market since the offseason began. They believe Trey Murphy will now become the starter there, and they can move on from Brandon Ingram. Well, if they're moving some centers and forwards, maybe they need a guard.
Would you trade Karras and Jarrett for Brandon Ingram?
Can I just trade Darius?
Oh.
Can I just trade Darius? Now, this comes back to the report, and I guess we're bearing the lead a little bit. that over the weekend it came out, the Cavs don't want to move on from anybody. Did you see that over the weekend? They don't want to move on from anybody. That's step one to beginning the offseason. When you come up, now you could go like the Pelicans route here, where they're putting this out there. They're putting a big old sign out front of their shop. Everything must, well, that's like a tear down, but like open for business. 50% off sale today. The Cavs are going, no, we're not trading anybody. You, me, and everybody know they're still trading somebody. There is no way that this team is going to run it back the way that it's currently constituted. Frankly, they can't with the deals that they have to put in place and Donovan Mitchell signing his extension. You could run it back for a year maybe, sure. I think the move is coming. So if Kobe wants to play the hard ball that we don't want to move on from Garland and we want Jared Allen here to try to drive price up, I don't know if I like that. Call it for what it is. You have got to improve this team. And the thing that people get so wrapped up in is usually in trades, you feel like somebody won and somebody lost. Let's just take the Pelicans, for example. And you say they ship us Brandon Ingram and you get them Darius Garland. What if both of those guys are exactly what each of these teams needed, right? It's a win for everybody. It doesn't have to be that you fleeced this team and they lost, because that's when the game starts getting played, where Kobe Altman's going to say, oh, we're not trading anybody, because you're going to try to do what? You feel like you need to trick somebody. You feel like you need to dupe somebody into making a trade. Why not just call it for what it is, man? Go make these moves, and hopefully it works out for them and it works out for you. Cavs are going to be dealing. I feel like they're going to be making these moves. So with them coming out over the weekend saying, well, we're not trying to trade anybody. I want to hold on to everybody. That's like step one of the general manager's playbook on starting to get trades. Because you know what Kobe Altman wants? He wants people to call him. He wants people to call him. And there's an optic to that. You don't want it out there that Kobe's burning the phones up trying to get rid of Darius Garland. And I understand that they're going to leave a door open that these guys return. So it's easier when they go, well, people are calling us. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't pick the phone up. It's not the other way around where Kobe's trying to kick these guys out the door. And then eventually, I can picture the press conference now. They make this trade for Ingram, for whoever. Kobe Altman's going to sit down there. He's going to sit down. He's going to take a little sip of his coffee. They go, we really didn't want to trade Darius Garland, but we got an offer we couldn't refuse. Write that down for that press conference, because those words in some semblance will be said. We were looking to trade these guys, but we felt like we got an offer we couldn't refuse.
The old Godfather.
The old Godfather, right? Of course. You had to. You had to do it. And that then also helps if no trade happens. You go to Darius and you go, hey, man, they were calling us. At the end of the day, I want everybody to be some freaking adults here and go, hey, this is a business. Of course we entertained trading you. Of course we did. If Ken and Dave came in here, big play, big men, and go, hey, man, we thought about trading you to some other network. I go, well, did you get a good deal out of it? Like, it's a business. It is what I hope I'm not on the trade block. Are we on the trade block, Ryan?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. We're under contract.
I mean, Woj would know before we did.
That's probably true. Who would break the news for us? Schefter, Woj? Buster Olney? Maybe. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, we baseball,
Barrett Sports Media
football,
would be
or basketball.
Well,
show,
probably be Barrett Sports Media. Do you follow Barrett Sports Media?
No.
I don't know why. I mean, so Barrett Sports Media, they do like a lot of radio stuff. They don't do anything digital. I don't know why, man. They always used to do their rankings. There were a lot of shows that would get, they want to know where in the rankings you'd be, mid-market, major market, all that kind of stuff. They don't do much digital. So I'm assuming Barrett would have that. I don't think we're on the trade block, but I digress. Like, have the tough conversation, man. We got to entertain all these options. We've got to think about what's best for this team, and we'll make the right move. That's it. So the fact that the New Orleans Pelicans are going to be aggressive, and then also don't sleep on this 3-team trade thing. If you can get them involved, they can unload a player here. You get another team involved. There's so much on Kobe Altman. There's a lot on Kobe Altman's plate to get this done. But the fact that he's coming out starting with we don't want to trade anybody. Ryan, let me ask you this. Do the Cavs have to trade somebody? I feel like they do.
I would say, yeah. I mean, do they have to? Of course, no. The answer is always no, they don't have to. But I think from what you saw last year, for what's going on with Donovan Mitchell, which I got to imagine that's a huge part of him, whether he signs or not, is knowing which direction this is going to go in. Donovan knows at the end of the day what he wants. And if he wants to keep the core 4, which I don't think is the truth, So I think he wants to do something new. So I think that's going to ultimately be what happens. And if your goal is to keep him, which it has to be, you're just going to go that way.
So here it is. Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports. The Cavs do not appear very motivated to listen to offers for any of their core four: Mitchell, Garland, Allen, and Evan Mobley. With that group leading the way, we know what happened. 4 seed, bounce out in the second round, all that kind of stuff. Okay, talking about the Mitchell move, Jake writes, this move has largely paid dividends. Yes, I would agree with that. But the thing is, do you feel like you have got to make a move just to shake it up and break it up? I was talking about, what did David Griffin say about the Pelicans? He goes, we finally got a good look at what this team is, and it's not good enough, so we're necessitated to make a move. I can feel the same thing about the Cavs. I know people want to jump on some advanced metrics about when these 4 guys are out there, when the 3 of these 4 of these guys are out there. That's fine. At the end of the day, it wasn't good enough. And if you want to chalk it up to injury, if you want to say that Mitchell got hurt and then Jared Allen got hurt and all that, and you just assume bringing it back is going to be enough, fine. It's now seemed that the tides are Donovan Mitchell's coming back. Great. That's number 1. And I think there is an element to ask Donovan Mitchell. Do you think you got a good taste and vibe of if this team is going to be good enough? Now, here, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a bail. Not you, but I'm going to give a bailout here. If your answer is, I don't know, then run it back. The only way you make these moves is if you can unequivocally say it's not good enough. So if there's any little part of Kobe Altman, there's any little part of Donovan Mitchell, and also now Dan Gilbert who's back involved, that says, you know what? I don't know yet on this core 4. Or I think it could be what we think. Then you don't make moves. That's enough to keep it. And you sign Mitchell to his extension, which again, I got to dive into them. I'll send the text after the show. I keep saying I have to do that. Like, let's say they sign him to that extension. He's got a player option. And some of these deals can be, this is a 3-year extension, and he picks up his player option, right? Or here is a brand new 4-year deal, declines the player option, and gets a pay raise next year. What does that then do to the salary cap? I got to ask some people about that. I got to get that figured out. Because those are, again, what needs to do just to make the salary cap work. And I know Dan Gilbert's fine going into the apron. I know he's fine paying the luxury tax, but now it's so penalized about other things that you can do. Is that really where the Cavs want to live? Would you do that, right? The whole way the NBA is set up is, the easiest way to explain it is, if you want to go big and you want to have a big 3, that's fine. You're going to have nothing else. You are going to be so hamstrung on doing anything else that your big 3 better be it. And if the Cavs want to make it a big 4, then they'll have nothing else. You'll still have Max Strus, but that's it. No bench, you have no money, you have no mid-level exception. Isaac Okoro gone probably at that point. Is that the world you want to live in? Because if they did, what's your bailout? All right, at the trade deadline, this isn't working. We'll try something else. But are you going to get the same deal that you would get right now? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it's harder to make that money work. Going to need expiring contracts, harder to get. Like, now is your time. And I think it is a level of positivity to say, I think Kobe Altman's sitting in the catbird seat right now. I think he is sitting there to say, we're not going to make a flaky deal here. We're not going to make a move just to make a move. We're going to wait for the right one. And we're going to let some of these other teams kind of fight it out. The other thing is, though, are teams really lining up, kicking the door down to get Jared Allen and Darius Garland? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. How dependent do you think? I don't know if dependent's the right word, but I mean, we're talking about how much Donovan Mitchell and what he wants. You know, he has some power more than really a lot of maybe the most, as that Windhorst report came out, than LeBron did. You know, like he has so much power over this team right now, which can be, some people view it as a bad thing.
You're talking about real quick. Wendy said that he feels like Donovan Mitchell has more power over the Cavs than LeBron has with the Lakers.
Right. Yeah. And so now I'm thinking, well, like, I mean, we're still looking for our head coach, right? Like, how much does that? How much are we waiting to see how that unfolds to get maybe guys that fit this guy's philosophies? I said that. I go, you're not making a trade until you get your head coach in here. Because somebody, Kenny Atkinson, or now they're going after what? Quinn and... Johnny Bryant. No, Johnny Bryant. Yeah.
So Bryant is the one that's an interesting wild card in this. He's the one that's, the associate head coach with the Knicks, and he was Donovan Mitchell's former, personal coach out there in Utah. And all I heard from some people is like, yeah, he's fine as a prospect, but he's not ready to be a head coach yet. Do you pull that move? Chris Quinn, former Cavalier. And then obviously Borrego and Kenny Atkinson. So you're 4 deep now. I expect there to be more, but yeah, you're not making a move. You hire James Borrego, and he sits here and he goes, do not trade away Darius Garland. I need him here, or get him out of here, right? Like, you have got to have your head coach on that. Now, the thing is, I'm sure in these interviews, they will figure it out. Like, they sit down with these guys and go, what would you do? What do you not want us to do? And kind of figure it out from there. And maybe you do make the moves before you actually get the coach on the dotted line. At the end of the day, you're going to go to this coach and go, hey, this is the team we've assembled. Go coach them, right? Like, that's how the NBA, that's how most sports work, right? This is the team I assembled. Go do your best with it and figure it out from there. But I just think it's good. I think it's good, really, honestly, to tie back to the Guardians, Guardians, Cavs, they want a lot of moves. They want a lot of movement. They want a lot of action. That's good for them. To slide into some deal for the Cavs, for the Guardians to pick up on somebody that's trying to sell off here, this is all good. This is all good for where they sit and where they're at. So, yeah, I mean, what they do, who makes a trade first, Guardians or Cavs? That's a great damn good question right there. Who do you think makes a trade first, Guardians?
Guardians, yeah. I mean, when's the deadline?
Not till July. And then things really start to ramp up in July when Donovan signs his deal, allegedly, reportedly. And the draft's coming up. Oh, one thing on basketball we're talking about. Is this about to be a horrible finals? I can't remember who said it. It was somebody national.
I don't think it
might have been. It might have been Cowherd. Might have been somebody. I can't remember who. But they were talking about how bad this setup might actually be for the NBA Finals.
But tell me why.
Okay, so number one, did you get good Eastern-Western Conference Finals? You did not.
Do you think
that? You did not.
Do you think that's a big factor on who watches the NBA Finals?
Yes. You want carryover. You want people that's, and granted, you and I might not be good barometers on this because we watch the games every night no matter what. It's in part because of our job, but it's also you and I are sports fans. We're uber sports fans. I will sit down. I watched the UFL yesterday. I placed a wager on Coach Greg Williams' team, and they choked it away. It's not his fault. But the Defenders did not get a win yesterday. But anyway, I watched the UFL, right? I will watch any sport that's on. So you and I are going to watch the NBA no matter what. What you want is the casual fan that watched maybe some bad basketball in the finals, and will that carry Eastern-Western Conference Finals, that carry over? Then, which is the thing I subscribe to more, you have this lull. And people might be saying, well, that's all right because all you're doing is driving up an appetite, right? Like I sit here tonight and I'm like, I don't have Guardians. I don't have hockey. I don't have a basketball tonight. Man, I can't wait for Thursday, right? Thursday, I can't wait. But I'm different. I'm going to watch no matter what. So the two factors that most people are talking about is you had bad basketball leading up to it and you have this gap. Now, you talk about star power. You've got it. You've got Luka and Kyrie, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Do you have a hate factor? I think you have that. Don't nobody like the Celtics, right? Everybody's going to root against the Celtics if you are just an average fan. But are the Mavericks, like, big enough to drive this? I mean, I'm trying not to dive into it. And again, I'm completely, like, I'm Switzerland in this thing, man. I'm going to watch. I'm going to be in it no matter what. I'm really interested to see if this is going to be a good finals or not.
I don't know. I look at other finals, and I think this year, I understand the lull, and I understand that
it's going to be competitive.
Play. I think, well, one, I think it's going to be competitive, and then two, I think the storylines are there more so than other years past. I mean, last year was the Nuggets and Heat.
Yeah,
I can't imagine that wasn't two big markets going at it. You have Boston, obviously one of the NBA's biggest markets, and you have stars in Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, who were in the finals a couple years ago. Now they're on a redemption story, and then you have the Mavs. You have Luka looking to get his first ring. Who, if he does, I mean, he's been incredible, and he's already getting a ring. I mean, where do you rank him amongst the best NBA players ever already?
Yeah.
Which is insane, but it's true. And then you have Kyrie Irving, who not only is looking for this, who has a redemption arc going on in this year, and then also his history with Boston. They hate him. He hates them. I think the storylines are there more so than other years, and I think it's two good basketball teams.
And storylines are very important, and they'll get people there. And at the end of the day, it is a finals. People will watch the World Series. They'll watch the Stanley Cup Finals just because it's a championship. And it is basketball. It's one of the biggest sports. I understand that. And I'm talking about relative numbers, right? They're still going to do millions and millions in views. It's just, is it going to stand up? Is it going to be what they hope it to be? Because the other thing I was talking to somebody about, are we not in line for at least a 6-game series in this? For as quickly as some of these other series have gone, you would think that this is good for the NBA, that this is not going to be a 5-game, gentleman's sweep type thing here. And you expect this to go the month.
When we're out of this age, you had that I don't know, I guess I'll call it a golden age. It's kind of a pun because what I'm talking about is you had the golden age when the Warriors and the Cavs were going to 3 straight finals.
LeBron was in 8 straight, right?
When you had even the Heat, they were going to the finals every year. These last 6 years, we're gonna have a new champion.
You got new blood. That's exactly what it is.
We're not seeing these dynasties.
But I'm just gonna say, to the flip side is people like routine. So they like being able to sit down in a finals and watch to see if the Cavs and the Warriors can do. When they got Kevin Durant, every single person was rooting against them. You don't want to see some super team and go win it. Now, I'm all these factors. The time off, which I just can't say enough. Yes, there are storylines. There's no, again, you try to build up this bad blood, but there's no straight up villain. I guess Luka, people don't like Luka.
But truth be told, I mean, all it takes to really put this finals over the top is you go to game one storyline with Kyrie and the Boston people.
Or one good game, one overtime game.
That's all it takes to really flip it and say, oh, this series is going to be something special.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, I'm open to it. I'm going to watch no matter what.
Would you agree with this? I think this finals is way more entertaining, and I'm more wanting to watch it than last year's Nuggets Heat.
See, but the Heat were like this Cinderella story. Sure, they beat the Celtics. I was intrigued to see if they could pull it off.
But I don't think anybody thought there was a sliver of hope for the Heat in that.
I will tell you,
I think people really believe that the Mavericks can go beat the Celtics.
I'm excited. I have money on this. I have money on Tipico right now on Exacto. 6 games for the Mavericks. I have that. So, I want them to win. I don't want to see Boston win. But I wonder about, the casual fans. I do think one thing that works, though, is you do have, Texas and Boston, right? You're not out in the West Coast. And, again, they're going to start these games at 8:30 no matter what. There is no push to make this past 9 o'clock. You're not getting these late games at all. So I think that'll help a little bit and trying to root against the Celtics. So I'm in. I'm excited. I'm going to see. I just wonder about the other people. Quickly, this just came out. Odds to win the college football championship this year. Would you guess who's number 1?
I would imagine it's got to be Ohio State.
No.
So then Georgia.
3-1 Georgia. Ohio State is 4-1. Want to guess on the third?
It's not Michigan?
No.
Alabama?
No, they're way down. Texas 7-1. Alabama is 8.5-1. I'm sorry, Oregon is 8.5-1. Then Bama, Ole Miss, LSU, Florida State, Notre Dame, Penn State, Clemson, Miami, and Michigan are all 40-1.
Wow.
40-1 for Michigan. What a fun. I mean, of course. By the way, did you see it? Will Howard on the Bobby Carpenter show.
I did see that.
Go check that out. I know Dave retweeted it this morning. Bobby Carpenter show where? Right here on Big Play, folks. You got tonight. I just tell you all about Monday, right? How about this? You got the Big Play Cleveland show tonight with Jensen Lewis. You've got Hanford Dixon. And, come get some. Blake and Greg Williams tonight. Then you've got Bobby Carpenter, who's back yesterday with Will Howard, starting quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Big show for them. Folks, Big Play is where it's at. Follow us on Twitter, @BigPlay. You'll see all the shows, all the clips, and just YouTube it. Google it. And you'll find exactly where we're at with all of our clips and all of our content, including all of our boosts. No guards. Let's go a little baseball. Did they give us the imperfect?
They did.
Let's go. Let's go. I don't tell people enough about the imperfect when it comes to Tipico. Bro, this is primed for the UFC, man. I just did straight bets this weekend. Could you imagine if I did a little 4 out of 5 on the main card? Tipico imperfect parlay. Here's what we got. You got 4 games. We just need 3 of these 4 games to hit, and you're a winner. Ryan, please tell us what it is.
Boost it up to plus 133.
That's solid. Just 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 are games. Who do we need to win?
All right, we're going Orioles over the Blue Jays. We're going Phillies over the Brewers, Rangers over the Tigers, and we're wrapping it up with the Reds over the Rockies.
One of those games lose, you still can win, folks. Tipico, code Fontana150 when you get signed up. Deposit $150, and you will get 2 $75 protected bets to place on whatever you would like. And then also, you're off to a bank. Like we talk about bankroll a little bit here. You like 10? I like 10 on this. Double your money. I'm in for that. Boom, done. Right there. Tipico. Cash back, baby. Let's go. Cash back is amazing, which is awesome. But the imperfect parlay is so great. I love that, man. It's awesome. And again, you're building your little bit of bankroll right there. Gamble responsibly. Have a problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. $5-10 here. Hit a boost. Hit a parlay. Hit your straights. We're off to the races with Tipico. Best in the industry cashback. That's it. That's just that simple. They're the best in the industry when it comes to the cashback. It's that easy. It's that simple. It's for the bet you're placing already. Get on it. Tipico, code Fontana 150 when you sign up and jump on our parlay today. Got nothing going on, so we just went a little baseball with it. Damn, man. Could you imagine if I got that on the UFC fight? I went 4 out of 5. The only one I missed was the opening one. I got Nico Price. Obviously, I took Makhachev.
Strickland?
I took Strickland. That was happening. Paulo Costa blows, man. Don't tell him I said that, but he sucks. He should be a model, literally. He's jacked. He's ripped. He got no cardio. Got his ass kicked. Randy Brown. The first one, I actually want to know why I didn't bet that one. So I got Nico Price, I call that. Kevin Holland, I got that. I think he's something to watch there at middleweight, moving up. I got Strickland, and I was not betting against Makhachev. That was not happening. So check it out for the UFC, man. I love that. Again, 303 is going to be around the corner. That's going to be a lot of fun. So get geared up with our friend.
Who's fighting 303?
That's supposed to be Chandler and Conor McGregor. But canceled the press conference today. That one's a little like, because like the big one is McGregor and Chandler. It's supposed to be one of the biggest gates in UFC history. They already supposedly passed 20 million. Like Jamal Hill, Carlos Ulberg is the co-main event.
Does watching McGregor do it for you anymore?
No, I don't care about him anymore.
I don't either.
I don't. I loved his hype. I loved his press conferences back in the day. And if he beats Michael Chandler, which, by the way, this is a freaking welterweight. It's 170 pounds. Conor McGregor used to fight at 145. But he's got acting gigs. I don't want to insinuate what else he's got going on, but whatever. The thing is, whoever wins that, what's the point? Where are they going to fight? Are they going for a belt? Like, I'm a true UFC fan where if you're going to win, that's fine. What does it mean for you going to fight for? All I really care, I want to see championship fights. That's it. So the rest of that card is like fine, especially if we get Gary and Michael Page in that one, supposedly. But yeah, man, that's where it's at. I love it. I love betting. And, again, every weekend, too. By the way, they've got a card on ABC coming up. It's Whitaker and Chimaev. That is a card I'm excited for. And that's free on ABC. I'll be betting with Tipico on that. Folks, they got all the sports. They got tennis. They've got the racing. They've got all of it right there with our friends at Tipico. All right, let's catch our break. We'll get to the morning update coming up. We'll get to the grid, a little more Guardians. We'll update our Twitter questions. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here on Big Play.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yep.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. You saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
How does an Ohioan build the perfect parlay?
Who's got something? Big guys looking for long odds.
The kids in Columbus are covering better than anyone, and at even odds.
If it's even, I'm leaving. Listen, our championship DVD starts today, all right?
Dude, I just got an invite to a Cincy playoff watch party.
Shut up. Cincy, State, Cleveland, the perfect parlay. I'm a genius.
For the best odds on Ohio sports, bet with your cojones.
It is Spanish, dummy.
Bet with Tipico Sportsbook.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
right, we got the morning update. Can I make a little announcement for tomorrow's show? 9:30, folks. We're going to have something. Here's the confirm right here, baby. Let's see. Yes, 9:30 tomorrow. Should I tell him who? Let's just say we're going to have somebody on tomorrow. And this is going to be an opportunity for you. For me, too, for Ryan. Ryan and I are already in on this. We're already in. Folks, there's something really awesome, really amazing that we're going to announce tomorrow at 9:30. So I'll send a tweet out. It's going to be a pretty cool thing. We're going to get it going here at Big Play, 9:30 tomorrow. There's something that you, the fans, can get involved in. There's something that you have the opportunity to jump on and be a part of with you, me, Ryan, Reflog, Bruce, Josh, Maria, everybody. We're all in this together. You're a big Bobby Carpenter fan, and you wanted to do something with Bobby Carpenter. Well, here's your opportunity coming up for you to jump in on something here. So we'll continue to promo that. We'll send the tweets out a little bit later. We'll get to that at 9:30 tomorrow. But again, we'll talk to you then. But Ryan, we still have an hour to go here. I got to get to the grid. We got to get this time up and a very savory bracket. But first, please, your morning update.
Alrighty, Matt. Well, the Guardians did, in fact, lose Game 3 to the Washington Nationals. Although they did win the series, that's big, as they kick off a very big series tomorrow at home against Kansas City. Guardians have 3 more wins in the Royals at this point. Tristan McKenzie's getting the nod on the mound, and we will be going against Sam Lugo for the Royals.
How much fun is it to have a series like this, where it's the Royals, it's an AL Central team, and I'm not saying it's all on the line here because, you know, it's a series in June, early June. Like, you got time. But it's a little bit of what we did with the Twins. I want to send that message to the Royals. I want to send it to them that we are playing a different, better brand of baseball than you are. I kind of like how the pitching has lined up for us just a little bit in this. You get after it, and you send the message. Because baseball is so much about the day-to-day. Every single day, you don't worry about yesterday, you don't worry about tomorrow. I want Steven Vogt for just this series to say, guys, this one's an important one. And I don't know if he needs to say that. I know Jose Ramirez knows that. I know Josh Naylor knows that. But send that around to just get the get the juice. Get going for this. I want to see what we got. I can't tell you how exciting that is to me. To have series like this that I can sit down every night. We'll have our boost with Tipico, and I can sit down and say, I want to get after this. I'm going to get after this game here. So again, I want to run through the entire pitching lineup here for this. So again, you got McKenzie, then you got Allen, and then you got Biden going on Wednesday. And it's at home. I hope it's going to be packed. You get your 6:40 start times, little day game there on Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. Get after it. Good luck.
All right, well, we don't talk about much hockey on this show, Matt, but we got to because the NHL Finals are officially set. The Edmonton Oilers will take on the Florida Panthers. Game 1 is this Saturday, 8 o'clock. Puck drop. Florida's a decent -140 favorite in this one.
Yeah, and I think you got Connor McDavid, so you've got a little star action. You've been watching the Panthers. I've caught some hockey here and there, but it's all about my Blue Jackets. I mean, I'm just a Blue Jackets fan. They hired the new president of ops. Like, it's exciting around that, but there's nothing like playoff hockey, man. But again, they have a lull now, too. They got to go a week without hockey. But it's still going to be fun to watch. Good for the Oilers. And I think, again, it's good that you get a star like Connor McDavid that people can watch. Did you see that goal he scored the other day where he's like through his legs and on through? He's a wizard, man. He's so good. It's going to be a lot of fun starting this weekend.
All right, we'll announce.
Hey, wait. Start the hockey. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, please.
Monsters, man.
Right.
Yeah, let's go. I know they're down 0-2. All right, they're down 0-2 in the East Finals. They were out there in Hershey. I feel remiss for not bringing them up earlier. Get after it. Monsters, let's go. 0-2 is nothing, man. That's all right. Let's get after it. They're back home now. When do they play? I'm sure probably, tomorrow, maybe this week? I'll have to look it up. Get it done, Monsters. Best of luck to them, man. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals there in the AHL, so good luck to them.
All right, well, the Commanders did, in fact, cut Brandon McManus, kicker, after a sexual assault lawsuit. This came after it was filed against him, became public, alleging sexual assault from an incident that occurred when a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars,
So here's the thing. He's on the Commanders, but this happened while he was on Jacksonville.
That makes sense.
So here's the story. Here's what happened. They were flying over to London, and allegedly, McManus was acting inappropriately towards some flight attendants. Now, if that is true, he deserves to get cut. He deserves to go to jail. And it's not like this. It sounded like it was groping. It was some inappropriate touching, things like that, which are very serious. And he needs to be held accountable if that is what truly happened. Figure that all out. That being said, I think it's interesting that they cut him before this actually maybe got investigated, or maybe it really did happen. The other thing that's going to be a little trickle down here is the 2 flight attendants allege that there were alcohol on the plane. That is a major NFL violation. You cannot have alcohol during team travel.
I believe the report also said there was marijuana.
Oh, okay. So the Jacksonville Jaguars, you know, they didn't play there anymore. If that happened on that team flight, and this memo, and again, it comes back to something that happened with a coach last year. The NFL sent another memo out to these teams like, just a little reminder, no alcohol. And again, about marijuana, I'm sure it's the same thing. They're going to get in a lot of trouble, as they should. I mean, you break the rules. The tough thing is, as a coach, how do you tell your guys, hey, man, we're getting on this 9-hour flight. When you and I go to London, I'll have a double jack on the rocks. You know what I mean? Like, I'll have my Bloody Mary. 3 of them. Yeah. But NFL players, you can't do that. So as this investigation goes on and what happens to Jacksonville, the same thing. Obviously, for the Commanders, and let's call it for what it is, too, if they felt like this was trending towards this, he's just a kicker, right? You're going to get cut him. Now, you go back, and again, there are varying levels to this, but when that Matt Arazia guy, the punt god guy, and his career got derailed by something that he wasn't even at the party anymore. Like, there's always, like, I just want the truth. And sometimes the truth can be very hard to find. If Brandon McManus was acting inappropriately, he deserves to be cut, and he deserves to face repercussions for that. And you would think, oh, it's this giant party. What's going on? He's apparently paying them money. Like, I don't know. I mean, they cut him. They must feel like there's some validity to this story. Or it's, hey, we got to release you, and you need to let this play out, and then we'll figure it out from there. But it's also, I think, a good, I don't say reminder, but maybe a good look for the NFL here to dive into, how is this London stuff going? Like, how are these trips, are they going well? Like, are these rules in place? Because how does a coach sit there and tell his guys, yeah, man, you can't do this? You know, what's that level of good guy versus bad guy? Like, you're going to get us in trouble with the NFL. And I'm sure it was always a you can bring alcohol on this plane. Just don't do anything stupid. You know what I mean? The NFL now has got to stand up. They've got to levy a fine. They've got to do something to Jacksonville to remind people you cannot have alcohol on these flights. Can't do it. So what happens will remain to be seen, but I guess I'm not really that shocked that they cut him.
Alrighty, well, Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson is now officially the highest paid non-quarterback in football history after he inked a 4-year, $140 million contract extension. That's $110 million guaranteed. He will get 88.7 of that due at signing.
Could you imagine that transfer, that check? Could you go ask him? Actually, I want a paper check. I want a paper check that I'm going to go put in my bank right now. Deserving, highest. Here's the thing. We all knew it was going to be Justin Jefferson, right? You knew this for a good little chunk of time that he was going to reset this market. What does that do? I sent a tweet out about the Bengals. They're going Michael Scott. They're going, no! Because you know Jamar Chase. All right, does Jamar Chase eclipse it? Here's your question. Does Jamar Chase eclipse that Justin Jefferson deal?
I know Jamar wants to.
That's not the question.
I don't see.
Do it?
I don't. No, I don't think
He's
so.
not.
I don't think
He's
so.
not.
Not when you're paying Burrow.
Well, that's in two parts. Number one, the Bengals don't have that money. Number two, who is better, Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase?
Numbers will tell you.
I mean, that's it. I think you're talking about 1A, 1B. I mean, they're both elite. They're both very good. I think I might lean Justin Jefferson. So that is a really hard conversation for the Bengals to sit down there and go, I know you want this money, but maybe you're not. They can't say that. They would never say that. But, like, you're not quite as good as that guy. And the ordering of this, right? The Eagles probably doing cartwheels today that they got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith done before this, right? Any receiver across the board. Again, the Browns. And I'm not saying Jerry Jeudy is in that conversation, but this just ramps everything else up.
CeeDee Lamb needs a contract. Yep. Brandon Ayuk needs a contract.
Higgins looking at this, wherever he goes beyond this. Do you want to know who I also thought about? Who's just salivating at this? Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Guys like that, Chris Olave. And again, they're not to that level, but they're sitting really prime and pretty right now. Any of these receivers that are entering their third year this year that are viewed as potentially being elite, Good job, man. They set themselves up pretty well for this. The other thing, there will be a market correction. I don't do much on the financial side. Shout out to James. Big sports guy, loves baseball. He's my financial guy. Good guy. Great guy. I'll leave it to financials, but like you always hear about market corrections. Yeah. There will eventually be that with the receivers. Too much, eventually enough's going to be enough. Like they can't. But as the money keeps going up with the salary cap, they'll add the 17th game. You thought all that money was going to go to the quarterbacks. Trust me, it is. But some of that's going to the receivers now. And, all right. Eventually, if you get out of this Watson deal, or the Browns can start to free some of this up, where you can allocate that money, like, Browns been dealing with this. We know what it is. And you know where I stand on it? I think they're doing the right thing by not restructuring, and you leave open that option. But just think about some of the money you could be spending elsewhere, man. Just think about some of that other money that you could be putting elsewhere with some of these. I'm not saying you could have traded for Justin Jefferson. Okay, I'm not saying you're trading for Jamar Chase. But you see where this money's going. You're going to need a Myles Garrett deal eventually. We know Jeremiah was Cormo. Martin Emerson's going to need MJ's going to need a good deal here coming up. You're going to have to pay Martin Emerson. I keep calling him Martin. He prefers to go by MJ. I apologize, bro. You're going to need MJ Emerson. He's going to ask for starting corner level money, and he frankly deserves every penny of it. So that's where it would not be the worst thing in the world if Deshaun Watson sucks and you get out of this deal because I got to pay some other guys here. Okay? There I said it.
Well, unfortunately,
I'm not wishing for that at all. But just with how hamstrung you are on money, and I know that they viewed this as a 10-year thing, and they'll spread that money on out, and Jack Duffin tells me over and over again that they got to spread this out, and that's fine, but you're going to need some liquid capital here. And what I mean by liquid capital is space, a salary cap space, because some of that's going to have to get eaten up here soon. Not now, but within the next 3 years, you got a lot of guys going to need some new deals. And if you're telling me of a group, and I'm just going to say this, and it's not like it's based necessarily in reality, kind of like the show. It's kind of based in reality, kind of not. But like a group of Denzel might need another deal, MJ Emerson, Myles Garrett, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, what you're going to need to spend on that offensive line, what other deals you might need. That collective versus Deshaun Watson, I'm taking the collective here. I'm taking this group. I would rather allocate my money over there and go get me a cheaper quarterback. I hope Watson plays well. And you can restructure him, and we'll figure it out from there. Speaking of figuring it on out. Grid. All right. Just on my first look at it, feeling good. Feeling all right. Here we go. For those new
to the week.
Big start to the week. Up and down, left and right. You know what? I'll tell you what. Do you want to put a little... I always envision this of like us giving something back to the fans. I want to do this for you, Ryan. And I'll take this on myself. If we get a week, 5 straight days of perfect immaculate grid, we'll do a giveaway. Some sort of giveaway. Merch, maybe get some with Tipico. I don't know. I'm going to talk to Nick right after the show. And I'm going to put this on us right now. I want to do it this week. 5 days, perfection, and I want help from the listeners and the fans too. We do 5 days, not missing one. We'll do a giveaway at the end of the week. How about
we got to start today.
That starts today. Up and down, left and right. You got to get a player. They've had to play a game for each of these teams, at least one. First team All-Pro. 9 minutes on the clock. Go.
Should we do John Elway?
That's fine. Did he make first team All-Pro? Or are you sure?
I mean, how could he not? Unless you want to do Peyton Manning.
Just do Peyton
Manning.
So
I don't think he had to have gotten first team on the Broncos.
I don't think so either. But here's the weird thing. I think he still did. What are the other two teams on the top, though? He doesn't work. The Colts aren't there. So just do Peyton Manning. Let's start this off positive. Lamar Jackson. And Tyreek Hill. All right, that was a little testy, a little dicey there, but we're good. All right, off to the races. Here we go. Oh, man, Jalen Ramsey's not played a game yet for the Dolphins. Did he play there last year?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Jacksonville, Miami.
Oh, Jacksonville. Like,
Jacksonville, Miami, yeah.
Jalen
Ramsey.
Definitely came back and played. He had to have.
Okay. Who am I thinking of then? Didn't he just get there? Before this past season, he just got there.
He got traded last offseason.
That's what that's what I missed.
Got hurt. He missed like
That's right. All right. Good job. I don't know why Paul Kruger comes to mind for Jacksonville, Baltimore.
Right? I mean, I know he played in
Baltimore.
Are you thinking of Paul Pelesny?
Paul Pelesny always comes up, but I think Paul Kruger worked for Jacksonville, too.
I think he did, too.
Okay. Do you want to let it rip, then? The pressure is on. I'm really sorry. I blinked, dude.
There goes the momentum. All right, we can still finish strong, though.
Sorry. My bad. Man. Derailed. All right.
All right, where do we want to start?
All right. Jacksonville, Denver. I don't know, man. I'm so tilted right now. Damn the grid. Damn it.
All right, Chargers, Broncos.
All right, Chargers, Broncos. I can't think of any quarterbacks. Just like, receivers. No. Nick Van Ette? No, I don't think so. Tight ends?
I'm so flustered.
I know, man. God bless it. Dan Fouts, I don't think works there. Yeah, he only ever played for the Chargers. Just got derailed, man. Check the YouTube. Somebody bail us out.
Junior Seau, Dolphins, Chargers.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Dolphins, Chargers. No, Dolphins. Dolphins, yeah.
Let's just finish strong.
I know. I'm trying to lock back in. All right. Quarterbacks, Fitzpatrick doesn't work for many of these. I don't see Josh McCown being anywhere.
Did Mark Sanchez play for the Broncos?
I don't think so. Blaine Gabbert, either one of those. Chargers, Broncos. I want to feel Broncos, but I don't think that actually works.
Broncos, Jaguars, Tim Tebow.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one. Yes. What? Did he play a game in Jacksonville? I don't think he did. Because he got there with Urban, did he not? And then I don't think he ever appeared in a regular season game.
Maybe not.
No, I don't think. I mean, I like where your head's at. I like your pull there, but I don't think he actually made it to the regular season roster on that.
Calais Campbell.
Oh, yeah, Calais Campbell. Yeah. Calais Campbell. That's the one we fucked up, too. Damn it. Damn it, damn it. Jags, Broncos. Not Leonard Fournette. Some Broncos guys. Welker, no. Stokely, no. Demaryius Thomas, no.
I always say Aqib Talib.
Aqib Talib never seems to work for out of it. Oh, man. I keep always trying to go Browns players, too. Like, TJ Ward went to Denver, but I don't think he went to either one. Deshaun Gibson, I know, went down to Jacksonville. Ronnie Harrison in Jacksonville, but I don't think they either one of those guys.
Wait. Didn't what's his face? Julius Thomas. Didn't he go to the Jaguars?
Yep. Good pull. Yep, very good pull there.
One more. I don't think Emmanuel Sanders ever played for the Chargers.
No, I don't think so either. Kyle Orton. I know he was Bears, Broncos. Yeah, he doesn't work there. I feel like there's a really big Ravens-Chargers one that we're
J.K.
missing.
Dobbins just went.
He just went there. Like, did Tony Jefferson go to the Chargers? Remember when he burned the Browns? Like, he said he didn't want to come here. The safety's actually on the comeback trail now. He wants to unretire.
Jamal Lewis ever on the Chargers?
I don't think so. No, Tony Jefferson doesn't work there either. Damn. Oh. Does Tyrod Taylor work for the Ravens and the Chargers?
I don't think he ever played for the Ravens.
I think he did.
I don't think so.
I
thought about that, but then I was
I'm almost
positive he's never been.
See, I'm pretty positive. I think he is or was. Yeah, because he got drafted in Baltimore. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chargers, Ravens. Yeah. Tyrod Taylor started his career there. Yeah, I was almost positive on that. Yep. Tyrod Taylor. Yeah. We got to remember Tyrod. He's been on 6 different teams. 6 different teams. Go back. I mean, I guess, that one.
Broncos charged Anthony Miller, Jamal Williams, Melvin Gordon.
Oh, Chris Harris.
Rodney
That would have been.
Hillman.
Melvin Gordon would have been a good one. Melvin Gordon would have been a great one. Hey, we'll get a giveaway. We get all 5 A's in a row. Man.
Who did we pick?
Paul Kruger.
Kruger.
And Calais Campbell was slapping us in the face, man.
Happens.
That's so bad on my part, man. I'm so sorry.
I mean, we could. I don't know if this is cheating. The Cavs are in the Immaculate Grid basketball. If we got that 100%.
I mean, we make the rules here. We can do what we want. Let's try Immaculate Grid. If we get it, that surpasses the day.
Okay,
that
we
gives
gotta
us,
be 100%.
We have to be 100%.
We can only do that once this week.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I like that little rule. I like that little stipulation here because we want to get the giveaway to the people. All right. 9 minutes back in the clock. Go.
20+ points per game. Season, we can go Russell Westbrook. I don't think he's ever played for the Blazers, and I know he obviously hasn't played for the Cavs.
Russell Westbrook. Now you're all nervous to click on it. Yep. All right, Jordan.
I don't know. Did he have a 20+ point season?
I would imagine so, yes. Second best player of all time, I would assume so.
Raptors. I mean, we could go Kawhi.
Let's go Kawhi. I'm sure Pascal Siakam got it too, but let's go Kawhi. All right. Cavs, Thunder,
OKC.
Perk.
Yeah, Kendrick Perkins is here for you.
What?
I don't know. I'm just nervous.
Oh, yeah. Now just
Cavs,
Bulls.
Oh, look at this pool, dude.
You're going to go with Luol Deng.
Dwayne Wade.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I definitely didn't spell
Well, yeah, because it's the Y before the A. But Luol Deng works there, too. DWYA. Yeah. Dwayne Wade. Good pull there.
Cavs, Raptors. That you could go with Luol Deng.
I guess we could there.
Right? He played for the Raptors, I think.
Or not Tristan. I'm pretty sure Luol Deng played for the...
Did Danny Green? Now I'm like...
Danny Green works for the Thunder. Cavs. Luol Deng played for the Bulls, Cavs, Heat, Lakers, and Timberwolves.
Never
played for the Raptors. No, never played for the Raptors. Huh.
All right, let's skip it.
All right, but I'm gonna need some help here on the Trailblazers, man.
Trailblazers,
bro. I mean, Paul Kruger. I seriously, Dame Lillard. All right, okay. Larry Nance Jr. Did he not go to Portland?
I don't.
He's in New Orleans now.
Oh God.
I know. I don't feel good about any Portland players. I can't even name you one on their team right now.
Anthony Simmons.
Is he there? I don't even know.
Might be an L today, man.
It just might be the L, man. I'm telling you. We tried. trying. I guess we get to start again next week.
All right, let's just go through the Cavs.
All right, Cavs.
Sean Marion, Jose Calderon,
Jose
Danielle
Calderon
Marshall,
would have been
Danny
good.
Green.
Oh, Danny Green would have worked. All right. You want to just do the Timberwolves or the Trailblazers just to see?
Trailblazers, Thunder.
Yeah.
Detlef Schrempf, Sean Kemp, Jerome Kersey, Lenny Wilkins,
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony.
Wouldn't have got that. I forgot Carmelo Anthony.
Anthony was on the Blazers for a season.
Yeah. All right, man. All right, well, we'll start another streak again tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. All right, let's catch our break. We'll jump into Time Hop. We got to get into a little bit of our bracket coming up. And I want to talk Caitlin Clark because they're discussing all this thing about she's just getting fouled. It's unfair. And I got a thing I got to say about the WNBA. We'll get to that coming up. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here on Big Play.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yep.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. You saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
How does an Ohioan build the perfect parlay?
Who's got something? Big guys looking for long odds. The kids in Columbus are covering better than anyone, and at even odds.
If it's even, I'm leaving. Listen, our championship DVD starts today, all right?
Dude, I just got an invite to a Cincy playoff watch party.
Shut up. Cincy, State, Cleveland, the perfect parlay. I'm a genius.
For the best odds on Ohio sports, bet with your cojones.
It is Spanish, dummy.
Bet with Typical Sportsbook.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
Let's jump into a little bit of Time Hop. Got a couple movies for you on the way out, and we will get to our bracket. I'm excited for the bracket this week. We mentioned on last week's show in Time Hop we had a day where Kellogg, the guy that is Kellogg, isn't it funny that you hear
Kellogg?
Clark Kellogg? Not that guy, the other guy. Like, isn't it funny, like, how names like that, where that was just that guy's last name, and now it's like you think of Kellogg cereal, and it's just everywhere. He put the patent out for cereal, so we're going to do your favorite cereal coming up. And I got to talk about the WNBA, and we'll update our Guardians poll from this morning. We get to it. But first, we head back 1 year ago today. Bucky Brooks, NFL.com, his NFL breakout team of the year, he put Grant Delpit as one of his safeties. I'm really high on Grant Delpit. I think a lot of people are. He's like a heat-seeking missile, man. I love Grant Delpit. I love the deal they got him on. I think he's ascending. You need playmaking safeties. I'm all in on Grant Delpit, man. I think that was a good pick. And granted, tore the Achilles. I know he had the issue there at LSU with it too, but I think he got a real steal there in the second round. Dude, I think there's some second-round picks that would rival a lot of teams' first-round picks. And I know Andrew Berry didn't pick Nick Chubb, but like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah and Grant Delpit in the second round, those guys are playing to a first-round talent on these teams. And those are some finds, man. They certainly are. Go back to COVID times, this day 2020. MLB rejected the union's proposal of a 114-game season without fans. And they just said, we have to have fans in the ball. Like, could you imagine the Dolans trying to operate? Also, by the way, this day 2020, unfortunately, the Guardians had to lay off like 1,100 people. And I sent a tweet. It's like we think about the players and the front office people, the vendors, the parking people, the security, like how we got through those times. And I really, I feel like 4 years later, Ryan, like we obviously got through it. I still feel like we deal with some, like, I guess probably more economic things than anything, but like they always said the world would never be the same, and I really don't feel like the world has been the same since the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of hybrid working, stay-at-home working, I mean, it's certainly changed a lot of things. I wonder if it's to ever happen again, like how are we going to differently operate?
I 1,000% believe that if it happened again, people would be so much more flippant. What I mean is, like, they'd be like, hey, we're putting these in place, and people like, blank off. Like, we lived through it. COVID was serious, and I know, unfortunately, people did pass away and all that, but, like, now, even then, people were defiant. You do it again. It came out tomorrow that it's back. People are like, I don't care. Damn your 6 feet. Damn your masks. All that other kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. But how we got through, and then how sports got through. Because again, what did we end up playing that year? 80 games, I think, something like that.
I'm trying to remember. Like
I think it was about 80.
You got the March Madness tournament got canceled.
Yeah, Masters was played in the fall. I mean,
Bubble and NBA.
Yeah, that's right. LeBron won, and Shane Bieber won the Cy Young. Crazy times. This day, 2018, NBA Finals Game 2, Warriors beat the Cavs 122-103. Steph Curry broke Ray Allen's final record. He had 9 threes in that game, and that was just the beginning of the end of the sweep. You had Game 1 where JR, you should have won. Game 2, we had nothing for him, and they beat us. An important one, this day, 2016, Muhammad Ali passed away, and you talk about passing in life and in just, in I guess maybe in like, what I'm looking for here, like, pop culture, but like in sports, like you saw the outpour for like Bill Walton, but like I remember Muhammad Ali. That was one of the biggest ones that you saw just across sports for what he meant for sport, for what he meant for civil rights, like all the importance there with Muhammad Ali. He left us this day 2016. This day 2003, Derek Jeter was named the 11th captain in Yankees history. Do you know who the current captain is? Don't overthink it.
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge is correct. That is like so hokey. Like, oh, we're gonna give him this, the captain of the Yankees and stuff. I just hate the Yankees, so it is what it is. But Derek Jeter's overrated as hell, too. Completely overrated.
It's a popular sentiment.
Yeah. This is an important one. This day, 1991. MLB draft is going on. And the Cleveland Indians at the time had a first-round pick. And they decided to use that pick, 13th overall, out of some kid out of high school. George Washington High School in New York. He left at age 19, did not even graduate because he went 13th overall. That would be one Manuel Aristides Ramirez Olicania.
There you go.
Manny Ramirez, drafted by the Indians this day, 1991. Good pick. I'd say it worked out. Should be in the Hall of Fame. Used rights. He won't ever make it. This day, 1965, Americans walked in space for the first time. Major Edward White opened the door of Gemini 4 and stepped out of the capsule. Make sure that rope is tied good and strong. That's all I got to say on that. To walk in space for the first time. This day, 1932, Lou Gehrig hit a home run in 4 straight at-bats. Pretty impressive, huh? This day, 1851, the first ever uniforms were worn in a baseball game. The New York Knickerbockers had, again, used the word uniform because it was all the same. Straw hats, white T-shirts, and blue long trousers were their uniform for a baseball game this day, 1851. Bring those back. Those straw hats. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not comfortable. Very happy birthday goes out to Pronk, Travis Hafter, Rafael Nadal, former Brown Larry Ogunjobi, Anderson Cooper, Ian Hunter, Mott the Hoople lead singer, and First Lady Jill Biden, all celebrating birthdays today. Also, today's McLovin's birthday on his ID from Superbad.
I believe it's Dr. Jill Biden.
I'm sorry, Dr. Jill Biden. You're right. I'm sorry. Sorry. I gave her the status of First Lady, but she is also a doctor. You're 100% correct. All right, 3 for you. Television show and 2 movies. You ready to go? Here we go. All right, first up, a television show. This day, 2018. I'm just going to start it there, see if you got a guess. 2018. It's about a very dysfunctional family.
Very dysfunctional family.
And a power struggle.
Succession?
That is correct.
Okay.
The Roy family. We got through season 1. I think it fell off a little bit for us. It's fine. It's good. I see why people get the hype. You know, Kieran Culkin and whoever plays his brother, the kind of crazy. Roman is the brother. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna be all screwed up now. Succession. Kendall. That's it. Kendall's the brother. Shiv is the sister. Roman and then Logan is the old man. Greg, who I guess I don't want to spoil it for people, apparently has a big part of the whole thing, but there it is. All right, next up, a film that came out this day, 1998. As a pre-adolescent boy who wishes to be older, a wish physically transforms him into an adult, but he still has the mind of a 13-year-old kid.
It sounds like a reverse 13 going on 30. Like it's the guy this time.
Right. It's a guy. And a very famous actor plays Josh is his name. Famous scene where he gets on a piano and he starts dancing on a piano.
Is that big?
That is big. Correct. Tom Hanks plays Josh Baskin.
I didn't know the premise of that.
Yes. Yeah. He wants to be old. He eventually is. So he's
I get
12.
why it's called big.
Yeah, I get it now, yeah. 12-year-old Josh Baskin tries to impress a girl by going on a carnival ride, but is refused because he's too short. Dejected, he inserts a coin into an antique fortune-telling machine called Zoltar and makes a wish for it to be big. It dispenses a card saying your wish is granted, but discovers the machine was unplugged the whole time. The next morning, he wakes up and realizes he's been physically transformed into an adult. What was 13 on? It was the same thing, right? Jennifer Gardner, but she just wishes she was.
She wishes she was older. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she walks around. She sees all her. But isn't it all of her friends are also adults? Are they not?
It like puts her in the future.
Yeah, yeah.
And she ends up. Mark Ruffalo plays the love interest.
That's right. She's dating a hockey player, but she really likes her.
Yeah.
Mark. Yeah. That's it. That's 13 going. This is like everything else around him is still at age, but he just becomes an adult. That was big. All right, and then final one, this day, 1987. A film with an ensemble cast. Kevin Costner, Andy Garcia, Robert De Niro, and Sean Connery. This movie has a Cleveland tie for a point. It's based in Chicago, but Kevin Costner plays. I don't want to lay it up for you here, but
is that The Bodyguard?
No. It was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, with Sean Connery winning the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. It is a gangster film and has probably the most notable gangster of all time in it.
Al Capone?
Yes, played by Robert De Niro.
Man.
I think there's also a very famous scene. Yes. Okay. So a lot of these I've seen this movie all. It's a great film. But I was a film minor in college. Yes, film minor in college. Yes. So a lot of classes I had to take, they would show me clips of these movies and tell you why this movie. Like they showed me the scene in Goodfellas with the tracking when they go through the back of the restaurant. Sit down. There's a famous scene in this movie. I almost just said the name. Where a baby carriage goes falling down the stairs, and they had to go save it while also in a shootout with the bad guys.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get this one.
The Untouchables.
The Untouchables. I've heard of it.
Kevin Costner plays Elliot Ness. There's your Cleveland tie. Sean Connery plays like the old hat that he gets back in the game. He unfortunately ends up dying. Robert De Niro plays Al Capone.
Okay.
Andy Garcia plays the up-and-coming gun-shooting kind of cop. And it's all the whole point of the movie and the premise is that Elliot Ness was given a unit that the police deemed they're untouchable, where they can do whatever they want. They want to beat a guy up that's in handcuffs already. Whatever they needed to do to take down Al Capone, they were allowed to do. And that's why they called them the Untouchables. They're Elliot Ness's Untouchables. They could do whatever. How unsavory, paying people off, killing people, it didn't matter. They did whatever they were allowed to do to take down Al Capone in Chicago. Great. It's a great movie, man. Because it was made, obviously, in 87, but it's got the vibes of the 30s. You know, Prohibition and all that kind of stuff. Great flick, man. Great flick. Go on. You're bored. You like cop movie style like stuff? The Untouchables is where it's at. All right, we'll remind people of our boost. We'll get to our bracket in a minute, and I also want to update our Guardians question this morning. The WNBA's got a real problem, and they need to get out in front of this. They need to stop these players going after Caitlin Clark. And I know that I think everybody saw the hard foul on her, and they've assessed that flagrant one. They're coming back. You might say that that's bad for a league to come out and say that this player is above the rest. WNBA's got to do that. They have got to protect her. And for the rest of these players, which I just do not understand, she has brought so much money and views and sponsorships to your league, and you're going to go try to take her out? I'm not saying that you just let her drive to the basket. I'm not just saying that you let her just shoot threes all day. But that unsavory bullcrap, that just blows my mind. I do not understand that for a second. I'm not saying that they should, you get touched and there's a foul. I'm talking about that foul. Like, there should have been more repercussion for that. A flagrant one. They need to find that girl. And frankly, I think maybe a suspension. And you want to send that message to the rest of the league that Caitlin Clark is maybe a little important? I think you do it. Because she is that important. This league is entering, it's a make or break time now for the WNBA. You have now gotten your exposure. You have gotten onto your mainstream channels now. You've got sponsorship coming in. What they do over the next 2 seasons will tell the story. If you want to continue to have the WNBA, you better have Caitlin Clark in a finals at some point. And I'm not saying to make this an unsavory thing or to rig it for her to go. And you still have other stars. Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ascanu. You have plenty of other, but it starts with Caitlin Clark, man. And you got to protect her.
Do you think though these headlines of them going after her and creating this storyline of these quote unquote heroes versus villains, don't you think that's drawing some attention?
I don't think so. Because here's the thing: what if she separated her shoulder?
Yeah, I mean,
seriously, that could happen with her driving to the basket and she gets knocked over in just standard play, right? You can't have that outside of that, man. She is the golden goose. Don't shy away from saying that. In the NBA, does Luka get different calls? Yes. Does LeBron get different calls? Yes. You got to treat that differently. And I think the WNBA missed a huge opportunity to send a little message, say, we're suspending her. That was a suspension. Draymond's been suspended for less, man. Seriously. She deserved a suspension for that. And I know they gave her the flagrant one. I didn't see if she got fined beyond that. But that's such a miss by the WNBA. It really is. And if the other players... Which, again, it's not just Caitlin Clark that makes this league. It's a lot of women. I understand that. But she's where it starts.
We go back to why they do it.
Why? And that's what I'm saying. Why? Because they're jealous?
We mentioned the 7 deadly sins, and I got to imagine it's out of pure envy.
It's got to be. But, again, she means she is helping the rest of this league. As a miss. I thought that was a real miss by the WNBA. To just hammer this down, to be like, that we were not standing for that crap. And I do the same thing. If they did that to Sabrina Ascanu, if they did that to Breanna Stewart, if they did that to another star player, I would ask for the same repercussion, man. Aja Wilson, that happens to her, you fine and suspend. You can't have that. You just can't. And it just happens to be Caitlin Clark, who I was reading stuff that people are saying, she's run out of gas. Of course, she just got done with an NBA or her season. She's WNBA or in the WNBA right now, and she's getting ready for the Olympics too. She's gonna need a break sooner around later.
Yeah, I mean, it would be tough, man. I mean, you have this girl come in, and then all of a sudden, she's getting the attention, even though it is bringing more spotlight and exposure to your game.
I wouldn't go to that length,
but I'm just saying that's got to be why they're doing it, is because you're feeling like, I've been in this league for years. I've done my due diligence. I've put in my years, and now this girl is just getting all this attention.
I'm here to tell you.
But at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. Her being a star is in without a doubt trickling down. It's going to help you out in the long run.
That's what I'm saying. You know your role. No, she knows her role. You play your role. And again, I'm not talking about within the play of the game. She's driving to the lane. Don't just pull up and go, yeah, go ahead and have it because we need this here. But like cheap shots like that, why? Why? Because you're jealous. Because you're envious of somebody that is actually improving the game all around you. I don't get it. I really don't. And if that's how they want to play it, there's got to be something. Kennedy Carter is her name. She's the one. And I'm sorry. I looked this up this morning. I know that they went back and retroactively gave her a flagrant 1. But beyond that, and then everybody was freaking out because Angel Reese was celebrating it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's not a basketball play. That's what Caitlin Clark said after. I'm just trying to find. I know they went back and gave it the flagrant. They should go back and give a suspension. The WNBA has got to set a precedent here about her. And the longer they wait, the worse I think it gets. All right, what do you want to do? Bracket? You want to update our question? Do you want to make our big announcement for tomorrow?
I was going to show them Boost again.
Let's go to Boost. Let's go tonight. Tipico, code Fontana 150. For all you new customers out there, deposit $150 with code Fontana 150. You will get 2 $75 protected bets. Imagine you hit those bets, getting ready for the NBA playoffs, going, get ready for the NHL finals here coming up. We got it all for you on Tipico. The boosts, the cashback rewards, which are so great, and this is an imperfect parlay. So here's what this is. We got 4 games. You just need 3 of those 4 to hit, and you're doubling your money. Ryan, the 4 games, please.
We're going Orioles over the Blue Jays.
Feel good about that.
Phillies over the Brewers.
Feel real good about that.
Rangers to beat our rival Tigers.
Need that.
And we're showing some love down south. Reds over the Rockies.
Let's go. Feel real good about that. Plus 133, right? That's where we're at. Double your money plus some a little bit. Typical code Fontana 150 when you get signed up. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply if you have a gambling problem. Please call 1-800-GAMBLER. You're on your way to the cashback rewards. Get ready to go for the NBA Finals. I love it. I love you, Typico. Thank you very much. Let's get to it. Ryan, our bracket of the week announcement.
Yes, I'm excited.
Best cereal. Best cereal. All right, shot out of a can of number 1 seeds.
Well, so do I automatically get a number 1 seed since...
Sure, you can do whatever you want.
I'm in the classic, my favorite right now, Raisin Bran.
Okay, Raisin Bran.
I don't think you can beat it.
So just shot out of can. Raisin Bran Cheerios. I love Chex. Now, okay, Honey Nut Cheerios are different. Like, we'll take offshoots, right? They're not the same. I was never an Apple Jacks fan.
I wasn't either.
Cocoa Puffs.
To go back to when I ate the sugary cereals and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the staples. It was, for me, it was Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yes.
It was Reese Puffs.
Yeah.
It was Fruit Loops.
Captain Crunch.
It was Lucky Charms.
I love Lucky Charms,
and
man.
Captain Crunch.
Lucky Charms got to be a number 1 seed. I loved Total.
What's the Snap, Crackle, and Pop one? Rice Krispies?
Do you remember Rice Krispie Treats? There was Rice Krispie cereal,
That's
which
what I meant.
but then that
I know
was in the
treats.
blue box,
Yeah.
but then the purple box was Rice
about the
Krispie Treats.
Those are still a thing.
No, I thought they got rid of them.
Oh.
I think they're discontinued. I hope not.
I don't think so.
Oh, they were. Oh my god.
I don't think so.
Good. I hope not. They were awesome. Apple Jacks. That was the frog.
Yeah.
Hot take. I never got into. I was never really into. Oh my god, Tony the Tiger. Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes.
Never really Frosted Flakes.
I enjoyed Frosted
That was
Flakes.
too much for me. So again, I'll send this out today at Matt Fontaine 83. We'll certainly get 16. I think the race will be on to see who our number 1 seeds are. We'll do our favorite cereal because last week was the anniversary of the guy that invented Kellogg's and starting it out. So that's really our genesis is. Folks, want to end it again with an announcement. 9:30 tomorrow. We're going to have Ken Miles on. And you know what Ken's been doing. You know the success that he has had. We have a major announcement for something that you, the fans, can get involved with us here at Big Play. So I'll send the tweet out again. We'll tell everybody on Big Play Cleveland show tonight that we'll have a major announcement 9:30 tomorrow. Ken's going to come on, and this is something that you can get involved with. And I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to say anymore. But I'm just saying, there's something that if you want to get involved with something we're doing here at Big Play, you can do that. It's 9:30 tomorrow. I'll send the tweet out. We'll do it tomorrow. Ken will join us, and it'll be awesome. I'm looking forward to that. Tonight, Big Play Cleveland show. They'll have Jensen Lewis on. Come get some. Blake and Greg Williams and the Hanford Dixon show. And don't forget, go back. Bobby Carpenter yesterday, and Josh Perry was on the show, I think, with him. They had Will Howard on. Will Howard. I always just think of the Three Stooges. Mo, Shemp, because they're all Howards. Will Howard, not Mo Howard. Will Howard was on, Ohio State starting quarterback, was on with Bobby. So they talked about it a lot. Big get there for them. So go back, Big Play channels, Bobby Carpenter, all of it, and us at Big Play. Fontana Show, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. Just search at Matt Fontana Show, and you'll find it across all the platforms, including the show replay. So I always appreciate everybody joining us. Great stuff today. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Major announcement, 9:30 tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.